All right, welcome everybody, and thanks for stopping by to spend your lunch hour with us. My name is Katie Perky, and I am an instruction and outreach librarian here at UMA. I am mostly housed on the Bangor campus, but do make it up to Augusta every once in a while, so I might see you, depending on which campus you're at. We're going to talk about streaming films in your course today, a little bit about copyright and licensing and all of that kind of less fun stuff. This is casual though, so I'll have time at the end for questions, but if you have questions as we're going along, feel free to just unmute and just pipe right in. Okay? Here we go. Okay, so today's agenda, um, we're going to basically talk about a best practices guide for using streaming video, whether you're teaching online, in person, or somewhere in the hybrid soup in between. We're going to cover what streaming resources the library provides. We're going to talk about some copyright and licensing basics. Just a very quick overview, nothing too deep and boring. We're going to talk about how to select and share films legally and effectively, and a few tips to hopefully save you some frustration during your semester. My goal is that when you leave here today, you'll feel confident using films, and more importantly, you'll know exactly where to come when things get weird. Okay, so how many of us have ever tried to show a film in your course and you weren't exactly sure if you could or what the rules were around this? Um, Confusion around copyright is super common. So if you've ever wondered what you're allowed to do, you're not alone. We are going to go over some basic do's and don'ts, and I think that you will feel pretty confident after you're done here today. Okay, so streaming films can be an incredibly powerful teaching tool. They can help bring concepts to life for your students. They can help support our visual learners, and they can give students shared material to discuss. They also help with equity. So when we use streaming films, especially library provided streaming, students don't have to buy or rent anything. There's no paywall for them. Everyone has the same version, so we can make sure that everybody is viewing the same content. You won't get any excuses about it's not available on my Netflix account or anything like that. And you're also going to get some reliable captions, transcripts, stable links, things that commercial platforms don't always guarantee. And we will make sure that they are accessible as possible for all of our students. The part that makes everyone nervous is, are you sharing this correctly? So the simplest answer is to always link or embed a video. Don't upload it into Brightspace. Um, all of our platforms will have either a permalink that can be put into your course or an embed link that can just embed it right into Brightspace. Um, Plan ahead for licensing needs. If you know there's a specific video you need, make sure to reach out to us. The earlier the better, and we can search for it, try to find it for you, purchase it if we don't have it, or find you alternatives. You want to make sure that you're using library licensed streaming platforms because those licenses will cover you with the legality of sharing that content. All of our licenses are negotiated for library and educational use, so you can be sure that you're covered under that. All of these, well, I should say most of these platforms that we have through the library are also going to provide you with some stable links. So you won't have to worry if that video is still available from semester to semester. Most of the stuff does stick around. They're created with, course implementation in mind, so they're not constantly taking things down, and you don't have to redo your syllabus every semester because nobody wants to do that. And of course, whenever you're unsure, you can always ask a librarian. We're happy to help. You can email us, call us, stop by, chat us, any of those options. Okay, I'm going to talk about some specific library streaming platforms that we offer through the library. You might be familiar with some of these, you might not, and that's okay. And then if we have a little time at the end, I will demo some of these to show you how they work. But this one is called Academic Video Online, and this is one of my favorites just because it is so easy to use. It has more than 48,000 video titles. There's subjects like anthropology, business, counseling, history, music, film. You'll find newsreels, dance performances, training videos, historical footage, some feature films, less so of that. Academic Video Online lets you create clips, embed videos right into Brightspace, and use transcripts. It's one of the most flexible platforms we have. And a really cool thing with this one, right in your Brightspace course, when you're building out your course, there's an option when you go to like add stuff where you add a video where you can search this database straight from Brightspace. So you don't have to leave Brightspace when you're building your course to find a video, which is pretty cool. Of course, you can embed or link just like any of the other platforms, but this one, I would definitely recommend going here first. Another good one is Films on Demand. So faculty who teach applied fields, sciences, or professional programs often find what they need on this database here. Films on Demand is really rich platform. They provide short, high-quality educational films. They do have some series from PBS, BBC, and other major producers. They have lots of topic-based segments that you can embed right into your Brightspace course. Easy to search by subject area in there. If you're not quite sure what you're looking for and you just want to browse, it is pretty easy to do that. And it's a good place to find like shorter content. So if you just need something like maybe 5 to 15 minutes long to introduce a topic, this is a good one to go to. It's an incredibly stable platform for teaching, and the content is made for course adoption in mind. And same with that first one I showed you, the academic videos online. These are created for course adoption. So you don't have to worry about stuff disappearing constantly. Now, Kanopy, you might have heard of Kanopy. This is a cool one, but it's a little less stable, and I'll explain that here in a second. You may have used this before. Some public libraries offer Kanopy as well. They are known for their documentaries, kind of like indie films, social justice content. A lot of faculty do use this, and it is a favorite. A few things to know about Kanopy. Accessibility-wise, everything has captions, which is great. The links are stable for students on and off campus, so you don't have to be on campus to view any of these streaming databases. But Kanopy is not Netflix, so not everything lives on Kanopy forever. They do have a different purchasing model than the rest of them. And they are kind of pricey. So we don't purchase a ton of things on Kanopy. We mostly purchase when faculty ask us to. So if there's something that you want on Kanopy, we will absolutely look and see if we can get it for you and purchase it for you. But they are pricey, so we usually do it kind of on demand. And then the licenses do last only 1 year at a time. So we can absolutely repurchase something. If this is like, say there's a video on here that you want to use every year, you love it. We can repurchase it for you each year, but just it's important that you're aware it only lasts for a year. And if you don't reach out to us, we're probably not going to remember that you wanted that video. So just like give us a little nudge or a reminder to purchase it again. It is pretty quick. So I will say, just like a couple of weeks ago, we had a faculty member who went to show a video in Kanopy that they show every semester, and it was no longer there because the license had expired. And they were able to chat us and reach out quickly. We repurchased it, and it was like, 5-10 minute turnaround before it was accessible again. So that is an option. It is pretty quick. So don't panic if something's no longer available. But please do keep it in mind and reach out so that we'll remember to purchase it again for you. A couple other cool ones are Swank Digital Campus and then the PBS Video Collection. I wanted to mention these, even if you don't use Swank for like your courses, you might want to use it personally. They do have a lot of major Hollywood movies on here. These are going to be like your popular blockbuster movies, less educational, but it is a fun one. And you can use it for your courses, but you can also use it just for personal use as well. And then the PBS Video Collection has a lot of really great PBS documentaries and shows and all of that on there. All of these are free to UMA students and staff and faculty. So personal or professional, you have access to all of it. Okay. How to use streaming films in your courses. If you've never used a film in your course before, no worries. There's a few really easy ways to start doing it. Some options, you could assign asynchronous viewing, so you could provide a link and students could watch it on their own time so that you could discuss it in class later. You can use short clips for in-class discussion. So there, all of these platforms that I just showed you, especially Academic Video Online and Films on Demand, they have, you have the ability to create clips out of a longer video, and it's super easy. And I'm going to show you how to do that here in a minute. But if you say there's like a 45-minute video, you only need a 6-minute section of it. It's very easy to clip it down and then share that short clip in class. And then you can also create curated playlists. So you can go on these apps, create your own playlist, and then share that playlist with your classes as well. Maybe it's required, viewing for class, or maybe it's just supplemental stuff if people want to dig deeper. Okay, we talk about selecting the right film for your course. A couple of tips to keep yourself and your students sane. Please check the availability before finalizing your syllabus. Sometimes people will put a film in their syllabus and then it ends up being really difficult or sometimes impossible for us to find that film and offer it through the library. So look ahead of time, contact us if you can't find it in our resources and see if we can get it for you. Try to avoid relying on personal streaming platforms. It does get really tricky legally for sharing your personal streaming platform video. You really should avoid that at all costs and try to use the library licensed platforms. And then keep backups in mind in case a film does leave a platform. They're not going to give you any warning. If that's something you've been using, they're not going to email you and let you know. So it's always a good idea to have like a plan B or a backup film just in case. And when in doubt, ask a librarian to help. We are happy to dig around for you. Most of us enjoy a good challenge or mystery to solve. So don't hesitate to reach out and ask us for help. Okay, so now we're going to talk about some like basics of copyright, what you can do, what you can't do, and some like gray areas. So good news, a lot of things are allowed. So you can show library licensed films in your in-person class, just like you can show a DVD or a physical movie in class as well. It does matter if it's in person versus streaming. So keep that in mind. In a face-to-face class, no problem showing a full film. Okay. In a virtual classroom, fair use tells us that we should use short clips if possible, and avoid showing an entire film live, because then we get into like public performance rights, and we just don't want to deal with that. It's usually costs quite a bit of money to buy those rights. So, but short clips are protected under fair use. So that is totally fine. When you are putting things in your Brightspace course, make sure that you're linking to the video in the library's database, or you're using the embed code. We don't want to download or upload anything into your course. And then, of course, assign library licensed films online. So again, it's like using that library licensed films rather than your personal Netflix, Hulu, whatever account. Okay, it really does matter. What you should not do not upload DVDs. You know, you can't rip DVDs and then show them in your class. You cannot stream from your personal Netflix, Hulu, or Prime accounts in class. You can't show films publicly for events, which class would count, unless the license explicitly allows it. And I will just tell you that most of them do not explicitly allow public use. That is an extra fee that we would pay if we wanted to do that. You can't bypass paywalls by downloading or screen recording any streaming. That's a big no-no. A good rule of thumb is if the source is your personal streaming service, just don't. Try to go through the library's databases at all costs, because we do have those licenses that protect you. And they are very easy to link or embed. Okay, so let's say you want to use films in your course, but you search all of our databases and you can't find anything that looks good to you. It's totally fair. Look there first just to see, but if you can't find it, just let us know. We do have a website where you can request a purchase. You could always just email us too, though, or chat us, or stop by and talk to us. It doesn't have to be through that request ticket. But like, yeah, let us know what you're looking for. Maybe you have a specific film, maybe you just have a topic in mind, and we will go search for it. We will try to find it on one of our vendors. If we can't find it, it's just not available online, because sometimes that does happen. We will try really hard to find you an alternative that might work for you. But we will dig and do our best to find a solution. So, and we want you to reach out and ask, because we do our best to buy a wide variety of things. But you guys obviously lead our collection development. We want to buy things that is useful to you in your courses. So like, please reach out. You're never bugging us. I promise we want to hear from you. And we'd love to support you. So we can help you by helping select films if you're not sure what you're looking for. We can help you with licensing and copyright guidance. So even after all of this, if you're still like, oh, I still don't know what's allowed and not allowed, reach out and ask. We can walk you through it. If, let's say, you really want to include a video in your course, but you are just really not getting how to embed it or link it in Brightspace, you can reach out to us that way too. We can help embed it or link it into your course for you. All of our librarians know how to do that. We can offer alternatives when titles aren't available, and we would love to have one-on-one consultations with you. So if there's something that you're trying or want to try, and you want us to help, please, like I said, reach out. We'd love to collaborate. So here's the quick recap. The library gives you reliable, legal, accessible streaming options, so please use it. You can use them in person and you can use them online. Copyright doesn't need to be intimidating. It's not as scary as it looks. Most of what you want to do is allowed. And whenever you're unsure, we're here to help. Please reach out. Our goal is to make streaming easy, legal, and stress-free for everyone. So with that, I will open it up for questions first. And And then I'll show you a little demo, but does anybody have questions here? Don't be shy. If there's no weird questions, if you're thinking it, somebody else probably has thought it as well.
I have one, Katie.
Yeah,
Okay. Now, what about we have a class in senior college. We're connected to UMA, but not like most other classes.
yeah,
We have a class on classic films, and we have been having people bring in their own DVDs and showing it that way in the classroom. The
yeah.
people showing the film talk about the film, critique it, the classroom discuss the film. How does that fall into fair use, or does it?
Yeah. So you're showing it in person, you're not showing it virtually,
Correct.
then you're covered. So if
Okay.
it gets hinky with the virtual versus in person. So it used to be like the easiest way I think to understand it is like think about books, copyright in books. When you bought a physical book, it was hard to replicate that book, right? Like you could give it away or you could sell it, but it would be hard for you as a consumer to like reprint that and bind it and do all of the things that would make it look like a nice book, right? And then ebooks came along and it's really easy to duplicate digital content, right? So you could make a copy of it, share it, and it looks exactly the same. And so the laws reflect that, and the people, basically the publishers and the people that make money off of all of this digital content got really nervous that people were just going to mass produce copies and they were going to lose money. So they have all these extra rules around sharing copyrighted material virtually, but all of the in-person stuff is actually way easier. So if you're doing in-person stuff and it's for academic use and discussion, you're covered. Well, and I should say, as long as you have obtained the movie legally, you know, that is important. I'm assuming that's happening, but
Yes.
that
Yes.
is
The
an
moment
important
of
distinction.
no hijacked movies or anything like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as long as you're obtaining it legally, you know, somebody bought it or you even if you borrowed it from the library or something like that, that's still covered. Um,
Now, what about streaming a movie in that class?
there you get tricky.
Uh,
You still can do it. Um, if you're in person, you can stream in person without a whole lot of issues, as long as it is for academic, like discussion, um, and you're not just doing it for entertainment sake. Does that make sense?
yes, yes, yes. Although there's always some entertainment factor involved in it, but there is a discussion. We have
Well,
we
of
have we
course.
have books about the things we're showing, things like that.
Yeah. No,
Mhm.
yeah, you're covered in person. In
Okay.
person is a lot easier to figure out than the streaming stuff.
Okay, good. I'm
Yeah,
happy to hear that.
yeah, you're doing good. Any other questions? Okay. I'm gonna exit and put this and stop sharing this. And I'm gonna pull up the library website here. Too many screens. Here we go. Okay, so you should be seeing the library website here, yes? Okay. So I wanted to show you how to get to some of these streaming platforms. So the easiest way is to go here in the middle of the page to databases. And this is the full list of everything the library offers. So it's kind of overwhelming. I mean, the easiest way to just find the video stuff is to go here to types and then scroll down to videos and streaming and search that way. And this will show you we have 11 databases that are all videos and streaming content. It's all the ones I talked about today and then a couple extra like little niche ones. I wanted to show you academic video online. Oh, now of course it's not gonna work. Bless it. Isn't that the case? All right, that's okay. Let's see if we can find Films on Demand. Because I want to show you how you can clip something into a shorter video. So, yeah, if anybody's trying to watch The American Revolution by Ken Burns, you can watch that for free on PBS's website for streaming, and they also have an app, but it's also here on Films on Demand. So let's say, I don't know, I'm just going to pick a random video. Here we go. So you can create segments of this video. So we can see this whole video is 53 minutes. Let's say that's way too long for what I want to show in class. I can click this create segment. It does make you have an account. So let me log in. I should have done this ahead of time. The first time you do it, it will have you create an account. Oh, sweet. There we go. Okay. So if I want to create a segment here, let's say I've watched it and I know I want to clip this and only show from about like 5 minutes in to 15 minutes in. So I just want to show those 10 minutes. I title it, minutes test, and then I can create a segment. So now, if I go in my custom segments here, my test segment is there, and I could share just this
Here, it's in a rocky prison.
with my students. So I didn't want to share the whole thing. I just wanted to show a segment. This is the easiest way to do it, but it's that simple. You don't have to have like major editing skills or anything like that. You can literally just type in the time you want your segment to start and the time you want it to end, the end. And then you can share it directly from here with this. And this will give you the URL, which is the website, the link that you could copy. Or you can also get the embed code here. So that's if you wanted to put it in your Brightspace course and you wanted it to show up in your Brightspace course as a nice, pretty video player, you would do this embed code. And if you wanted a link that students would just click on to get to it and watch on their own time, you could do that as well. Does that make sense? Okay. But yeah, I encourage you to like play around in here and figure out, you know, which ones you like the best, and play around, see if there's stuff that you could use for your courses or for your own personal entertainment. That's okay too. And like I said, if you have questions ever, please reach out to us. We are happy to help. So if there's no other questions, I will release you back to your day. All right, guys. Thank you so much. See you later.
Thank you very much.